Many of you have been wondering what in the world happened to Shedeur Sanders in the NFL draft. Well, we now know that Shedeur was taken in the 5th round by the Cleveland Browns. I want you to watch this video, and if it resonates with you, like, share, and subscribe.
What sense do you have of how we got to the point that Shedeur Sanders was taken in the 5th round by the Browns after Dillon Gabriel?
He rubbed teams the wrong way. I truly believe that. In a meeting with the Giants, he allegedly got up on the board and wasn't fully prepared for an install. One of the easiest ways to get teams to pass on you is to not do well in a situation where they're asking you to do an offensive install in front of them. I do think it was some of the football stuff, limited athletic profile that teams, maybe not all teams liked. But then I think a lot of it was just what, transpired in the lead up to this. Remember, he didn't work out the combine either.
I don't think we're ever going to see a draft fall like this again. I thought part of this was sending a message to not just Shedeur, but everybody else. Hey, if you don't play by our rules and you're not a Travis Hunter who's just going to go second regardless, we're going to make an example out of you. Like, we're going to make sure that next year when it comes up, we're going to say, hey, look what happened to Shedeur.
Wow, that's an interesting take. And you know what? I'm not here to debate if Shedeur had the talent, if he had the skills, if his camp did the same thing that the Manning camp did years ago. I really don't want to debate that. I want to focus on, as a pastor, what would I say to Shedeur? This is his lifelong dream. And just like you and I, we have dreams and aspirations of doing great things, whether it be going to the NFL or if it means starting your own business, whether it's going to that specific college that you've always dreamed of having or going to, rather, whether it's, having a family, getting married, whatever it may be. What do you do when you are discouraged? I could imagine that Shedeur, who had the expectation of going in the early first, at the bare minimum 2nd round, to slide all the way down to the 5th round, that had to be very discouraging. And so I want to speak to the Shedeurs out there, those who had failed expectations, and how you should respond from a biblical perspective. Proverbs chapter number 3, verses 5 and 6 says this: trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. What a powerful passage of scripture. And when I was watching this unfold over the weekend, my heart just bled for Shedeur, but I began to think about this particular scripture. When we trust in the Lord with all of our heart, our will, our mind, our emotions, and when we don't lean on our own understanding, leaning on such as a staff, right? Adjusting your weight upon the thing you're leaning on. That's a mistake, to lean on our own understanding. How can I correlate that to this situation? Well, when we're thinking about the disappointment, the discouragement, and trying to figure out why this happened on your own and in your own understanding, you're not going to go far with that thinking. And oftentimes the enemy will cause us to think negatively about what it is that God is doing in and through our lives. The enemy desires that we would accuse the Lord of not being good, of not being faithful, and not being kind. But I just want to encourage those who have had disappointment similar to what is listed here for Shedeur. And this is what I want to say to you. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and don't lean on your own understanding. Acknowledge God in all of your ways, and he will make straight your paths. See, God in his sovereignty and in his will would have for Shedeur that he would make it to the Cleveland Browns. And I don't know if he's going to become a starter. I don't know if he's going to be a career backup. I don't know what his future holds athletically. But what I can say is that all things work together for the good. I have to believe that God is orchestrating and planning out his steps, but we must trust in the Lord. If we lean on our own understanding, we will be heartbroken, discouraged, and disappointed. I hope that encouraged you. God bless.